everybody. This is David at Awesome Autographs and More. And today we're here with episode number 50. This one kind of snuck up on me. So I don't really have a lot planned, but I do have some TTMs that came back over this past week, and we'll go over those. And I attended a card show, semi-local. I actually drove from the Atlanta area, which is where I live, to Birmingham, Alabama. I had seen a card show listed on, I think it was SCD's calendar, but I'm not positive. So I went down there on Friday because it was both a Friday and Saturday show, and decided I would check it out because we really don't have a whole lot of great shows here in the Atlanta area. So I'm kind of looking for those that I might find in surrounding states that are, a couple of hours or less to drive to. But generally wasn't a bad show. It was pretty good. It was fun to walk around, a lot to do, a lot to see. Friday was only a partial setup. They had this set up in a civic center type facility just north of Birmingham, and ultimately they ended up using two of the rooms in the civic center, but Friday afternoon, evening, they only had one of those rooms set up and functioning. The other room wasn't opening until Saturday morning. So Friday night was fun. I got to look around, didn't get anything. It was a lot of slabbed cards, a lot of graded cards, neither of which interests me at all in terms of buying. But got to look around, got to see a lot of cool cards. Went back on Saturday morning. The other room was a little bit more in line with, some things that I would have wanted, i.e. TTM fuel, and just some various types of things that I want to pick up for my PC. But anyways, so let's get started. We have 3 TTMs, and I'll go over some of the card show activity that came about and things that I picked up. But as for TTM, our first is a 3-for-3 success in 55 days from Mr. Roger Craig. He played in the NFL from 1983 through 1993. With San Francisco, the LA Raiders, and Minnesota. So we got a San Francisco card, a Raiders card, and a Minnesota card signed. That's Mr. Roger Craig. Next up, we have a baseball return, which is a 3-for-3 return in 46 days, Mr. Bobby Wine. He played in, getting a glare on my information here. Looks like 1960, and then he played again from 62 to 72 with Philadelphia and Montreal. And then in 1985, he managed the Atlanta Braves for what appears to be a part of 1 year. and ended up with a managerial record of 16-25. But again, a 3-for-3 success. And I thought I had solved the problem of people signing these autograph cards on the back by filling in information back there. But in this case, he still managed to get in there. So I sent him that and a Phillies card, because I did not actually have a Phillies card, but in this particular case, he signed the back. So, Mr. Bobby Wine. And the last TTM, which came in this week, came in while I was gone. It is a 4-for-4 success in 52 days by Mr. Greg Brock, who played from 1982 to 1991. Split his career 5 years with the Dodgers and 5 years with the Milwaukee Brewers. Not to mention we got a card for the Leaf set here. Mostly Brewers cards just because of what's in my collection. His Dodger days were in the 80s. I think it was up till 86. 2, 3. Yeah, through 86. And then starting in 87, he went to the Brewers. But that's Mr. Greg Brock. And that finishes out the TTMs. Now, card show purchases. And I will not open and go through all of these today, but there was a guy selling packs of cards. I actually opened this one and went through it already. They had one card facing one way, and this card in the back was turned over so you could see the front of the card. But other than that, you didn't know what would be in the package. So I figured, and they were $1 a pack, which I figure, heck, you would pay 2 or 3 times that for one regular package of cards, and you'd probably get about this many. And in this case, getting, all these cards for $1 wasn't a bad deal. Now, whether there's a lot of TTM fuel in here ultimately or not, we'll see. Most of these cards are fairly recent. The packages were packed by sport. So he had packages like this, which is a football one. He also had baseball and basketball. So I've purchased a couple of football, a couple of basketball, a couple of baseball. This just happened to be, like I said, the first one that I opened. And I cannot see any of these cards in terms of reading off who they are, so I'm going to allow you guys to read it. And I will just go flipping through these pretty quick. That, I think, was Todd Gurley. Every so often, I can recognize the person. Steve Young, I think. But these are actually cool cards for autographing. I have a basketball card from a guy that's a current player with the Knicks, signed. I'm sure it was on one of these videos in the past. But they've got some pretty neat cards in here. A lot of inserts, parallels, things like that. Some of the better quality cards. They were big into, I think this is Illusions. Panini? Yes, Panini's Illusions. Can't tell off the top of my head what year it is. But they generally sign really nice if they sign down towards the bottom in the blue Sharpie. They come out pretty good. I was surprised. I looked at these and I think I picked up a pack of basketball way back when, and I happened to have one that was of this Knicks player. His name is Jericho Sims. And so it's like he was at a show signing for, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks, I don't remember. And I figured, well, let's give it a shot. But anyways, so I have multiples of these packs. I will go through them in future videos, probably one at a time, just so I don't bore you to death. Anyways, that is it for episode number 50. I will have to thank the athletes for sending their autographs. Greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for spending the time watching the video. I've probably gone on way too long. Given that this is a 50th video, my 50th video, just to let everybody know or remind everybody from prior videos that in the description on the video you will find the addresses for all of the athletes whose autographs we received. And in this particular case, I'm going to give a shout out to a number of channels that I've watched pretty much from the beginning, and these are the channels that pretty much got me interested and into doing these videos. So I don't know, there's like 8 or 9 of the channels. I think at this point I subscribe to like 50 channels, but there's those first 8 or 9 that were, I would say, instrumental in triggering me to want to do this myself. So that information will be in the description as well. Shout out to those channels in that way. Hopefully, if you are not familiar with the channels, you will check them out because they do an awesome job with the information that they provide on those channels. And so please feel free to check any of them out at any time. I'm sure some of you probably know them. But anyways, again, thanks everybody for listening to me babble. And thanks again to the athletes for their autographs. Please hit the like button over there. It's very important to help these channels, not only mine, but all of the other channels that you happen to watch at any point in time. It's very helpful for them in terms of algorithms and getting the videos in front of the people who want to or might be interested in the content. And also, if you subscribe over here, that also helps expand the exposure of the channel so that people who are interested in the content can find the channel. But anyways, thanks again. Look forward to our next video. As soon as I have some more TTMs to report, we will have at it. So goodbye for now. Enjoy what's left of the weekend and have a great upcoming week.